Hello, all of you loud people that will definitely get immediately annihilated. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about A Quiet Place Day 1. It's a 2024 horror directed by Michael Sarnoski. He's done a few decent movies, nothing crazy, starring Lupita Nyong'o from Us, Joseph Quinn from Fantastic Four, and Alex Wolff from Hereditary. He has some decent actors, so I'm very excited. So what's the movie about? We follow Samira, a cancer patient. The hospital organizes for the patients to take a trip to New York and see a marionette show. And it's actually lame, really lame, but everyone seems to enjoy it. There are jets, helicopters, and police cars busy moving around, and they get busier and more active over time. So something looks like they've hit the city already, if everything's busy happening now. The doctor tells everyone, hey, I've just been told to bring everyone back home right now. Okay, so they've hit and they're coming right this way? Okay, cool. Nope. That's not what happened. Actually, the creatures fly in from space like fucking meteors into New York after all of that commotion. Sounds really fishy to me. So Fortnite dropped on their ass right into the city and they started killing people. Because of the meteor impact, there's a lot of smoke and fog. Perfect time to put in some cliche scares like people getting dragged into the void. Weird because they don't usually grab people. They just pounce and immediately maul them and all that. Anyway, we need to switch locations, so we knock Samira out with an explosion. She wakes up in the theater with a bunch of other people. Everyone is quiet, so other survivors have already picked up what triggers the creatures. They figured out, oh, if I'm silent, they can't hear us. Bridges get destroyed around the city. Also, this is New York, so unless they swim across, they are pretty much trapped there. I'll bring up the bridges later as to why this is a problem. Some guy's yelling inside the theater. And obviously, we need to shut him up. And this other guy knocks his head against the wall and kills him accidentally. I'd like to be more specific and say that the guy who died had his back and head against the wall because they were trying to keep him quiet. Then the guy kind of pulled him back and hits him against the wall. Not very hard either. Maybe if he was thrown across the room and injured his neck, that would have been believable. But we're not made of paper. Bones are very strong. A little knock like that would never kill him. Anyway. The power turns off and a generator starts downstairs. Oh, that's going to be loud. The bearded guy, I forgot his name, but it doesn't really matter. He goes downstairs and turns it off. No sign of the creatures. Great, we're all safe. He accidentally rips a piece of clothing and makes a bit of noise. He turns around very slowly, and after a moment, he's attacked by a creature. These creatures react instantly every time to noise, and it's even shown earlier in this movie. They are very aggressive, so why would they wait before attacking for dramatic effect? Samira leaves the theater and finds some kids. She brings them with her. Don't worry about them, though. She immediately loses them in the next scene. Helicopters fly around and announce that the attackers cannot swim. The government is evacuating people by the docks, and they should be safe on the water. A huge group of people start quietly moving to the docks, but the creatures attack them. During the commotion, Samira tries to hide under a car like a moron and almost crushes her, obviously. It starts raining and Samira meets Eric. He's British. Fuck! While raiding a building, they wait for thunder to kick a door down. I think it's really stupid because the delay between the light of the lightning and the sound of the thunder is usually random because there's different distances. It's not just boom, bam, accurate timing. Anyway. While inside, they read poetry like a bunch of pussies. The next morning, we are treated to a cheap jump scare from looking out the window. Thank you so much for that. Samira and Eric make it to the subway, then to a church, then to a pizza shop. Samira mentioned many times that she wants pizza. The pizza shop is destroyed, and Samira is very sad. If she just wanted any pizza, New York City has the highest number of pizza restaurants among U.S. cities. They will find a pizza. If that particular restaurant was important to Samira, I had no idea. I'll bring this up later as well. They go into the restaurant next door and have pizza anyway. Nice. They also do a silent magic show. So cute. They're still busy hanging out, but it's really not that cool. So Samira sacrifices herself so that Eric can escape to a nearby boat. They really could have gone together, if I'm honest. She didn't have to run around and distract the creatures. They could have silently walked to the shore and gently swam together. Anyway, Samira dies shortly after, and that's the movie. So before we begin tearing this movie a new one, I'd like to award it 1 bonus point for bringing a cute cat everywhere. Yeah, cats are awesome. I love it. So let's dive into the plot holes that this movie has. I've mentioned a few things already that I didn't like, but I'd like to quickly mention how I did enjoy the government slowly getting more active throughout the first few scenes to build tension, to the threat that the audience knows is coming, because this is like the third movie now. And if this is the beginning, now we can see how they're coming in. I think it's cool, you know? But the first problem with this, that's all pointless, because shortly after the build-up, the creatures drop in from fucking space. The communication between various government branches need to be very quick for meteors to be seen, then telling the government, then telling local police and hospitals to evacuate. Second problem, how did the government know that they were a threat? It's just meteors. I couldn't tell that the giant fireball from the sky was actually deadly creatures. Why bring the army? You know what I mean? If it was just meteors, prep yourself for some explosions and hospitals and ambulances. Like, why would they bring the army? You know what I mean? That night, the bridges get destroyed around the city. The government is containing this threat inside of New York because it's basically an island. Shortly after, the government sends helicopters telling citizens that the creatures cannot swim. So if they know that these things are impervious to water, how did they not lure them all into the water somehow? They have their weakness figured out literally on day one. How did the humans lose? We see in Quiet Place 1 and 2 that a year and a half goes by, and these things are still rampant all over the world. No government anywhere. Basically, an apocalypse. With these plot holes, it also really hurts that there are these stupid horror cliches. Victims getting pulled into the fog. A monster getting really close to someone's face but not attacking. Cheap jump scares out of nowhere. Chase sequences that the cast should not have survived because the creatures are way faster than them. Characters sacrificing themselves for no reason. It just, list goes on. It's just really, really cliche, you know. Apart from those big issues, we also have the story. Or should I say, lack of story. Samira is the only actual character here. Eric is just there. I'd like to bring up again that Samira is a cancer patient. Now that all of this is happening, she doesn't have a treatment. This gives Eric a reason to go out and find medicine for more scares. This also gives Samira a reason to sacrifice herself because she won't make it long anyway with cancer. 100%, that makes sense. I like that. Since everyone needs to be quiet, there's very little dialogue in this whole movie. So if it is very important for Samira to make it to the pizza place and do certain things, we wouldn't know because they don't say anything. They do write things to each other sometimes, but I can't read, so fuck you. No, seriously, they can really whisper to each other and actually communicate to make me care about any of the characters. Just because you need to be quiet doesn't mean there has to be no dialogue. If there's no dialogue, there's no story. But at the same time, it is a horror, so the characters don't matter. It's about the scares. But if the scares are cheap, that's just crap. And lastly, the music is fine, does its job. Acting is cool. They look scared. So with all that being said, I'm giving The Quiet Place, day 1, 5 out of 10. I can call this your average horror movie, but with less dialogue and more plot holes. They've established rules about the creatures in the first 2 movies. Just to bend them here, nah, I would not recommend this movie. If you've got nothing else to watch, I guess you can watch this one. Side rant, I think these creatures are still really weird. It's like almost, man, what are the Stranger Things monsters? They almost look like that. Demogorgons. I'm remembering things. Yeah, it's almost like a Demogorgon, but with more face things and big ears. They have like cones and ears and stuff. It's really weird. I'm also thinking to myself, how many new monsters can they create? You know? Because eventually we're going to run out of ideas. What new monsters do we've got, you know? But we'll see. Anyway, that's all. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.